So we know that the Mashiach kept the law to the T, along with his parents, so on and so forth. So this thing goes from back to Hezekiah's day all the way down to the New Testament time. Brothers had this understanding. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's get another example.
Acts 2 and 1?
Yeah.
Acts chapter 2 verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place.
And what was that place?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. That was the place. Drop down to verse 5.
Verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Israelites, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
So we see that these devout Israelite men came back home to do what? Fulfill the law of the Most High and keep Pentecost. Because that's one of the main feasts that we must go back home to keep. Let's prove it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 16 and 16. Hold that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 16 and 16.
Deuteronomy 16 and 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power in the place which he shall choose.
And what place is that?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. Read.
In the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles.
You see that? So the feast of unleavened bread is attached to Passover. Those is the times we supposed to go back home and keep the feast. So when we read in Acts 2, 1 through 11, that's what those brothers was doing. Let's see Mr. Paul, who the Christians love so dearly. Let's see what he did. Let's go to Acts 18 and 21. The book of Acts, chapter 18 and verse 21. Just giving some examples to show in Scripture that our brothers all the way down to the New Testament times knew how to properly keep the feast. Before our temple was destroyed, our land, we were scattered abroad. You know what I'm saying? They knew. Read on.
Acts chapter 18 and 21. But bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means.
I must by what?
By all means keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem. But I will return again unto you, if the Most High will. And he sailed from Ephesus.
You see that? So even Shaul, a.k.a. Paul, who gets a bold rep nowadays to some of the things that brother done stated and how these Christians allowed him. But he said, I must by all means keep this feast that come to Jerusalem. Why? Because he knew. Which hopefully we start to edify, and so we can know that we have to do this thing according to the Most High's protocol, not our own ways. Let's show in the kingdom these feasts being kept. Let's go to Zechariah 14. What's up? Hey, y'all, tone it down. Zechariah chapter 14, we'll pick it up at the 16th verse.
Zechariah 14 and 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
See that? So all those nations that's going to war against a Mashiach when he come through here and try to destroy us, so on and so forth, that residue that's left, that's blessed to be saved, they're going to have to come to Jerusalem to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Same things. Same thing will be followed. You know what I'm saying? Just like how the Most High programmed it in the beginning, it will be followed in the end. Read on.
Verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem.
Unto what?
Unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
See that? So they ain't getting no rain, no nothing for their agriculture to survive if they don't keep it according to what the Most High said to do. That's kingdom coming. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we need to ponder, y'all. Read on.
Verse 18, and if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite the heathens that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So why is the Most High going to punish them? Because they're not doing what he told them to do properly. Simple and plain. Right. Simple and plain. Let's go to the Jubilees. A lot of us is familiar with the book of Jubilees. You know what I'm saying? The quote-unquote pseudepigrapha books that they took out. Let's see what it says. Let's go to Jubilees 49 and verse 1. It get very simple and plain.
Jubilees chapter 49 and verse 1. Remember the command which Yahweh commanded you concerning Pesach, Passover, that you should celebrate it in the seasons on the 14th of the first month, that you should kill it before it is evening, and that they should eat it by night in the evening, from the time of the setting of the sun. For on this night, the beginning of the festival and the beginning of joy, you were eating the Pesach, Passover, in Mizraim, Egypt, when all the powers of Satan had been let loose to slay all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim.
So once again, we see that this thing is very important. Passover is showing you what was to take place, what our foreparents went through, and spiritually showing you what's going to take place with the Mashiach covering us with his blood and passing us over. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very deep thing, without doubt, but it has to be done in proper format. Drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And remember this day all the days of your life, and observe it from year to year all the days of your life, once a year on its day, according to all the law thereof, and do not turn away from day to day, or from month to month, for it is even an everlasting law, and engraved on the tablets of the Shemayim, heavens, regarding all the children of Israel, that they should observe in every year on its day, once a year, throughout all their generations, and there is no limit of days, for this is ordained forever.
So we can stop right there, and everything that we do, all the precepts we pulled out, some people will say, y'all off. Right?
Well, just went against yourself.
Exactly. So it says that this thing is to be kept forever. Right? Okay. Let's go down to verse 14.
Jubilees 49 and 14. For this reason, Yahweh commanded the children of Israel to observe the Pesach on the day of its fixed time, and they shall not break its bone, for it is a festival day, and a day commanded, and there may be no passing over from day to day, and month to month, but on the day of its festival let it be observed. And you shall command the children of Israel to observe the Pesach throughout their days every year, once a year on the day of its fixed time, and it shall become a memorial, well-pleasing before the Most High, and no plague shall come upon them to slay or to smite in the year in which they celebrate the Pesach, in its season in every respect, according to his command.
You see that? Now, that was very key right there. For one, it was stated earlier that no bone was to be broken. We know that that took place spiritually with Hamashiach. He fulfilled that, right?
Exactly.
Now, it goes on to say, basically, you have to keep this thing properly. It's something that must be observed.
It says in the Pesach, in its season, in every respect.
And what?
In every respect, according to his command.
You see that? That's key. In every respect. So everything that the Most High has specified, and all its specification, has to be kept like he said. Drop down to verse 21.
Verse 21. This is the one. And they may not.
They may what?
They may not.
Keep the Passover in America.
They may not.
Keep the Passover while you spread to the four corners of the globe.
They may not celebrate the Pesach, the Passover, in their cities, nor in any place except before the the temple of the Most High, or before his house where his name has dwelt, and they shall not go astray from the Most High.
You see that? That's killer. Honestly, we could have just read these few little precepts out of Jubilees and the argument would have been done. But we had to walk it through to show you precept upon precept. It is not proper for us to be trying to keep Passover as it is written outside of our homeland.
Exactly.
Now the key thing is, like 1 Corinthians 5 and 7 says, Hamashiach is our Passover. So spiritually, that blood that he shed for us covers us. And if we maintain and endure, he will pass over us when it's time for the Most High to rise to the prey. But to keep the ordinance of Passover and righteousness according to the law, it has to be done to the letter. Just like our foreparents did in Hezekiah's days. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we bringing forth. We're not trying to strive. We're not trying to, because we zealous of the law as well. We can't wait to go home and get them bastards out our land and do this thing of righteousness. But we have to wait on the Most High and do it properly. That's all we bringing forth, people.
And it's a must, like he says, it's got to be done in order, because we've been trying to do it with, we don't know how old the lamb is. Bones been broken, the whole shebang, everything out of order. We don't know how old, as is a male, female, it's got blemishes. We don't know none of that. We just going in there like, give us a lamb.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Some of our people even go to the point of actually wanting to get a lamb, maybe a year old, like the scripture says to do, and put the blood on the doorpost. And we know that's just, it's not proper. Because that thing is supposed to be slaughtered in our homeland, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So this thing will be instituted in the coming kingdom, and it will be done in righteousness, as we read in Zechariah and other places. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we was bringing forth, people. We not trying to bring forth strife or, you know what I'm saying, point the finger. Because our people that keep trying to keep it today, you're trying to do a good thing. But let's do it according to the ways of the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
Like that joint that Samuel said, man, obedience is better than sacrifice.
Exactly.
So we got to be obedient to what he says, regardless to our feelings. You know what I mean? So that's what we trying to do.
Period, point blank. So with that being said, we say shalom, and we love you, people. For one, we wasn't trying to bring forth a topic to cause debate or strife, but Passover is coming up, and this topic will be discussed. So let's get our precept game together. You know, with that we say shalom.
Shalom.